every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. High through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. High through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Yeah, the game's already started, by the way.
Yes. Yes, the match has started. Yep.
Where are you on time, sir?
Minute 20.
Okay, so I will pause I'll let you know when we get to 1 minute 39.
Okay, so I will let you know.
Yeah.
31, shit. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. There's 39.
There we go. We should be spot on there. Sorry for the lateness of the show, guys, of the watch along. That's my fault. I was caught short, had to run, have a bathroom break, so I do apologize. We will get the lineup. We've got James in the background. He'll come on at halftime and give us his thoughts if he's angry or happy. Maybe we'll get his young lad thoughts as well. But here's Liverpool show over the bar for Mo Salah.
Mo Salah.
What I saw of it, did you see that run from Madison at the start of the game?
I did.
Down the wing?
I did.
I like that. I thought that was good, by the way. I thought that was a good stuff from Liverpool.
Yep, it's showing intention from James Madison, which is mostly needed right here. So so far Mo Salah getting into the act, cutting in, getting on his left foot early. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I tell you one thing though. Forget being a Spurs fan, but as a football fan, that entrance though is something else, wasn't it, Steve? I would love to see that. I hope we see that on Thursday in the semi-final, by the way.
I would love to see 10,000 Spurs fans outside the stadium welcoming Tottenham Hotspur into their own ground. Blue and white stream.
Yeah. Oh, wouldn't it be great if we won the Europa League? Can you imagine the last game against Bournemouth? Here's Liverpool now on the break. Here's Alexander Trent with a lovely crossfield ball, but here's Brennan Johnson now.
Ooh, nice.
Johnson. Now back to Ben Davis. Ben Davis.
Why didn't Brendan Johnson cut forward and move up the pitch and get?
Do you know what? Going? Yeah, that's a very good point, Steve.
Instead he drops it back, and now all of a sudden we have to reset, and Liverpool has time to actually get defenders back.
What a ball! Here's Bergville.
Nice.
Spurs actually playing some good stuff here. Actually, here's Jed Spence. Spency now. Yeah. Looking for Johnson goes back to tiny.
Yeah, look at Jed Spence saying, "Fuck all that noise. We're not going, Brendan."
Here's Tell. Go on, William. Go on against Trent Alexander. Oh, unlucky. Oh, well done. Oh, well done for Madison.
Oh, look at
Don't
that.
give it to Bergville, for fuck's sake. He was free. Tell with a crossing. Oh, here's Johnson. Oh.
Yeah, but what's funny is he had the overlap again. But that was a nice little ball in, because you had Solanke and Johnson right there. So
was he offside? Was Johnson offside?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. You're a professional. I could see James there shaking his head in the background going, why?
The question is, was the overlap the correct play? Would Destiny Udoji be in a better angle to hit Solanke or Johnson right there? That's the question.
I think the hits. I think it would have been better to go with Johnson, get him go down that wing. Personally, Steve, but we seem to be stuck on William Tell's side, aren't we? We seem to be trying to go down that. Are we targeting? Do you think Trent Alexander?
100%. But we also build a lot up the left hand side to begin with, anyways, right? That's just the preferred side in which to attack.
Here's Jed Spence, a lovely ball.
And when you look at,
go on, well done, Solanke.
There it is.
Tell.
Play in.
Oh, for God's sake, Tell.
Mm-hmm.
We've started well, to be fair.
Look at the tenacity of Liverpool. That's a good ball forward. Yeah. Good defense right there.
It's Diaz. Now to Robertson. Back to Diaz. Liverpool, as Steve said, doing what Steve actually said and before the whistle. They're actually playing how you tactically said they would play, Steve, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Do you know?
Look who's back. It's Virgil van Dijk, right? So when they press up the pitch and you look at the mid, you're going to see as they move up, depending on which side they attack with, if it's the right side, you're going to see Trent Alexander-Arnold on the overlap with Mo Salah, and Robertson's inverted to the midfield right there, giving extra protection in case Spurs try to counter.
Arnie Slot's not happy in the touchline, waving his hands around.
Oh, Arnie.
Oh, come. I love it when you say that, Steve. It's so funny.
Arnie.
Oh, dear. I like that. So that's a good. Here's Madison now. Lovely little ball with the outside of the foot. Here's now William Tell.
That's a good switch right there.
Go for the overlap. Oh, for God's sake, what are you doing? Oh, my God.
1v1. Ooh.
See, Tell should have.
And there's no protection right there.
No,
right?
And also Tell should have given that to his Liverpool. Oh, it's gone wide. When Tell had that ball, he could have given that to your doggy, by the way, and put your doggy on the overlap. I feel Tell is a little bit greedy of a player, or do you think he's trying to?
Yeah, it's he's not paying attention to the overlap. But when Tell goes into the box and he's attacking, right? Where was James Maddison as that backup right there at the corner of the box, right?
Yeah.
That's where James Maddison usually should be when you have runners trying to make a run into the box.
Yeah,
James Maddison is supposed to be the outlet right there.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Steve. 7 minutes, we haven't conceded yet.
Oh yeah, well yeah. It's Liverpool is still trying to get into this match, but let me tell you, I like the aggression from the Spurs in their attack. They're not playing soft on the attack. It looks like looks like they potentially showed up today.
Yeah. Why they not show up against Wolves and Nottingham Forest is beyond me, but that's another subject.
Because it's Wolves and Forest.
That's true. But that is something. I mean, it's just a sea of red, isn't it? The stands, it just really is, isn't it? It's just a complete sea of red. I grew up with Liverpool dominating the league. I mean, I'm sure, James, and you can remember Liverpool dominating leagues, winning league titles after league title. And this is probably the best Liverpool team I've ever had the witness seen. I think this is better than the 80s side. Here's, there's one of the players there's one of the players there. Go back,
and look at where Gakpo was stationed right there at the back post.
Yeah.
James and I were talking about this last night on the MLS live stream, which is available on Stateside Footy. Go check it out. This whole notion of being married to playing out the back, and when it is and when it's not acceptable. And we just saw that on Spurs' last possession, where Vicario's holding the ball, looking for somebody to push the ball up the pitch. It goes wide left. And all of a sudden, there are 3 red jerseys right there. Yeah. And now Spurs can't get out of their own end, right? There's a time and there's a place playing out of the back. And at that point, I would have just loved to see Vicario just pump that ball up the pitch. Because if you lose possession, you lose it higher up the pitch. Oh.
Fuck's sake, Vicario. Can you not catch a fucking ball? Seriously.
It just seems that there is a time and there is a place for playing out the back. And I agree with James on this one. It's like if you're going to lose possession, you'd rather do it higher up the pitch and not deep in your
Yeah,
own
you
end.
would. You would. But that
Oh.
corner was just, there's Kenny Dalglish with his wife. Of course, a legend of Liverpool, legend of Scotland as well. There is Johnson on the full.
Wasn't Kenny Dalglish the manager in charge of Blackburn when they won the Premier League?
Yeah.
Wasn't Kenny Dalglish the
he
manager
was.
then?
He won 8 league titles with Liverpool as a player and a manager. He won them the double in his first season as a manager, Liverpool in '86. He went on then to Blackburn, of course, and won them the league, beat Man United. But here is Solanke now.
I would love
it's
to
a
have
corner of the Spurs. I'll tell you one
Yep.
thing. I mean, we don't win often up at Liverpool, to be fair. I mean, there was a time, I think to the 80s or 90s, that we hadn't won at Liverpool since the Titanic was built. Even the great Bill Nick has never won at Liverpool. I mean, that says a lot.
Dude, Konate is so good. But wouldn't it be great to have an Alan Shearer type striker on this team? Good Lord, I would love it.
I tell you one thing. I thought, I do know, we got a Spurs corner. I got a point on that. I think it's a very good point. I want to comment that, but we've got a corner of the Spurs here. Here's James Maddison.
Good ball in, Matters. Come on.
Come on. We're sucking the ball in the cop. Come on. Corner goes in. Hits Solanke. Yeah.
Big Tom! Oh,
Tom Solanke.
Big Tom Solanke.
Come on, yes.
What a set piece. What a set piece.
Come on.
Bang in the back of the net.
Let's be having you. Let's be having you. Come on.
By the way, that has been what I've been waiting for all season. Just some aggression on a set piece. And look at this. And look at this. Yes. He's marked by two. He's marked by two Liverpool defenders right there. Bang. Right there in the corner. He gets up and above it.
Come on. Yes, bang. Come on. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Solanke with the header. Great crossing
in traffic. Yeah, that ball was right on the money. In traffic, being marked by Konate, and I believe he was marked by Konate and I want to say Slobosai. And he just gets above them both and just bang right in the corner. Oh, Konate break the box. Thank you very much.
Free kick to Spurs. Come on, Tottenham. Come on.
Thank you very much for that, Boris.
Come on.
Bang.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Where's this Tottenham been all season?
Yep. Make Liverpool react to you. Be the aggressor. Be the bully.
Yeah.
And take their crowd out of it early.
I agree with Boris. Stuff your title, you scouse beeps.
See, look at this. See, again, playing out the back when you don't have to.
Come on. Anyway, I would love it if we beat them. Love it. I would love it if we beat them. James is looking at me, and probably Steve remembers the Kevin Keegan famous quote. I would love it if we beat them. Love it.
See, and again, Derma, right? So again, playing out the back, and all of a sudden you lose the ball deep in your own end. And see, you just saw what Jed Spence did. He gets the ball on the errant cross and just pumps it upfield. If you're going to lose it high up the pitch. Look at that. Was that Brendan Johnson hustling? Was that Brendan Johnson hustling right there?
Yeah, I tell you one thing, Steve. This Liverpool team look nervy as hell.
Yeah,
they look really nervy.
They have to secure the title.
Oh, shit.
Nice ball over the top. Nice
here's McAllister now. McAllister now to Diaz. Diaz shoots, turns like a little eel. Doesn't good defending my Spurs, but here's Mateus Tell. Tell kicks it long up the field. Where's Dom Solanke? Go on, Dom.
Good defense. Look at that. Look at Dom.
Header out by Madison. Spurs all over Liverpool. At Liverpool.
On the counter. Don't play it back. Jesus.
Come on. Here's Archie Gray now. Spreads it now to Danso. Tottenham calming it down a little bit. Looking for Davis. Back to Danso. Danso trying to goes forward. Passes to one play. Gets pushed over. It's a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. Well done. Well done. That's what we want. Come on.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We just scared an old lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Big up to Mr. Simpson. Big up, Carly boy. Hope you're doing well, man. Anyway, Solanke with his first. Oh, hello. Oh,
All over hopefully this is a game where Solanke gets a brace, gets 2 big goals at Anfield. What do you think, James?
I think
3.
Yeah,
he says 3. He says 3.
I said 3-0. I've gone for 2-0 on Dave, so I'm going for 3-0 now. I'm just getting 4-0. Let's go for 4. Why not? Let's push the boat out.
So far, half of my prediction is true. I have the 1.
Yeah, I went for 2-0 on Dave's, and if I get my prediction right, I think I'll go to the top of the channel prediction championship on Dave's channel. So I'm in 3rd place. I'm only 3 points behind the leaders on that, so I'm on the march.
Look at you. Oh, nice ball in. And they equalize. Luis Diaz. And again, we were talking about...
He is. He's offside.
Oh!
Lovely. I love you, referee. I love you. We love VAR as well. We really do.
And look how dangerous, right? So...
Yeah.
And look how that is. As they're coming up, it looks like a 4-4-2, and then here comes...
I think he's onside,
Maybe.
I think VAR, he's on.
Looks like he's off. Looks like his arm is on.
VAR is going to give this. I think he's on. I
don't know. We'll find out.
We've got a 10-minute wait. So we'll go and make ourselves a cup of tea and a sandwich by the time VAR work this out. He's on, says Jazz Fusion. I think he is on.
The interesting thing is just look how they are quick to respond. And as they're pumping forward numbers forward, you see both Slobosai and McAllister running to the top end of the box, and then you have Mo Salah and you have Trent Alexander-Arnold right there to respond.
The referee still checking this.
Ball in.
He's checking. He's waiting for VAR to tell him what to do.
You're off.
You're on. He's on.
Off.
Yeah,
off.
It's on. It's on.
Yeah, it's on.
It's a goal. It's a goal. Liverpool have equalised. It was the Tottenham player's arm that was playing them on. Actually, if you look at the first cross,
sure.
I think it was. I don't know who was on. I don't know who was on, but you can see his arm. If he kept his arm in, he would have been offside. But it is 1-1.
And as we were saying in the before the whistle, right? This is a huge match for Ben Davis and Kevin Danso to be tactically aware of just exactly who's coming in. And again,
it was Danso that played him on with his shoulder. Danso with his shoulder. They're using the automated offside rule now.
And Mo Salah put a beautiful ball in just ahead of Archie Gray, but good Lord, man.
And there was
Kevin Danso. Kevin Danso loses Luis Diaz.
Oh, fuck's sake. Look, it's 1-1. I'll take a point. We all said we would. Oh, well, lads, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it for 7 minutes as well, Carl, if I was you. We did enjoy it.
Yeah, but whatever, man. Let that goal go and continue to be aggressive on the attack.
Yeah.
That's the thing is Spurs have nothing to lose in this match.
No.
I don't care about being caught out. Just pump numbers forward and be aggressive. Oh, that's a nice good ball in for Bergvall. In the box.
Are you ahead of me again?
18 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay. 15.
No, 50. I'm at minute 19 right now.
Yeah, I'm probably a couple of seconds behind you. I'm at 19:01 now.
Okay, I'm at 19:03.
Okay, then we're probably a second. And second's a second. Doesn't do that. But here's Liverpool. That will give Liverpool a bit of confidence now. The fans are up now. All they need is a point to win the league. But we at Spurs are not going to give it to them lightly. But Liverpool now starting to get into their stride a little bit.
Look at the ease. Look at the ease in which Liverpool are passing. It's just
There's Jed Spence with a good header out. There's Solanke back doing those. But is that a free kick? No, says referee. Yeah, here comes Mo Salah again. Oh, here comes Liverpool again, and it's 2-1 Liverpool.
And what did I tell you, Cody Gakpo? They're just not paying attention, and
He's saying it's offside,
and they're saying it's offside again.
Let's have a look. Let's see. He's on. Danso's playing them on. Again, in the middle. Danso's playing them on.
I actually think he was off.
Is this gone to VAR the checking this?
So
no, it was offside. So you were right, Steve. I thought he was playing them on.
So the crazy thing about this is you look at Jed Spence and you look at where his body was and you look at where his head is pointed to. Cody Gakpo he's not paying attention to Gakpo.
Yeah.
On the other side, and it's like, dude, you have to be playing your back towards the goal, right?
Yeah.
You have to be aware exactly who your man is. You can't just let him run free to the post. Oh, I think me off.
I think what Tottenham have to do now is just keep their heads. Don't let the equaliser get to them, and just just concentrate on what they were doing. Just keep it down. Keep it. Yeah.
Down. Yeah. James is saying that. Yeah, he's like, just calm down. Yeah. Spence was watching Salah, and he's not. And at least this time. At least it looks like Danso was keeping a good eye on Luis Diaz there, but Spence lost Gakpo.
Do they get the trophy today if they win it?
Good question. I think so. I wonder if the trophy there you go. Good by Jed Spence.
Yeah.
I think so. I think the trophy's in the building, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't know. So long since Spurs won a league, I've forgotten how they won it back in the day. I wasn't around then.
You weren't around 61?
No. To a lot of people's belief, I wasn't alive then.
Do you know who was around though? Adrian. I wonder if Adrian knows the protocol.
Yes, they do.
Trophies.
James says to do in the chat, so that answered that question. So they do get the title. See, when they last won it during the pandemic, there was no fans there, so I think this is why today's a bit special for them. But I want to be the party pooper. I want them to go up there and just say, right, we're going to spoil your party.
Party pooper. Party pooper.
Great. Here comes now Quinote back all the way back to Allison.
Yeah, by the way, Archie Gray got burned on that goal by Luis Diaz. And the thing about it is if he would have just tried to slide and get his foot there to disrupt it. And again, what's funny about Archie Gray is we had seen in the last couple times he played, I remember the match against Ipswich where what's his bucket? Their striker, Liam Delap had burned Archie Gray in the first 10 minutes, and then like on a dime, Archie Gray adjusted and then took Delap out of the game. Like the Archie Gray's football IQ is through the roof.
Yeah,
he knows how to adjust. So, by the way, quick question, because we're getting down to the end of the season. Do you have any finalists for your Player of the Year, Derma?
I've got one or two, but I'm waiting to see how the rest of the season falls out.
I've got a top three.
Yeah, I've got a top two. I'm just waiting for my third one. But his Liverpool again. Oh my God, the way
nice little 1-2. Good way to clean it up right there. It's James Maddison. Good awareness. Actually, I have a top four, and I will tell you my top four. I'm not going to tell you where I have them ranked, but oh, nice shot on goal. That's a banger. Was that Dominic Slobosai?
It was, yeah.
Or is that McAllister?
It's McAllister who scored for Liverpool. They've gone 2-1 up, guys.
And again, right, and that's
brain dead.
The interesting thing about it is like when they attack, they attack with 2 high 10s, and you can't ignore either Slobosai or McAllister.
No, brain dead.
They will punch you.
Absolute brain dead.
My top four for Player of the Year is Jed Spence is one of them, Archie Gray is one of them, Lucas Bergvall is one of them, and Dejan Kulusevski is the other. Those are my top four for Player of the Year. Again,
seriously, who played that? It was fucking Teller played that ball out. Fuck's sake, Tell, what are you fucking trying to do, man?
Yeah,
Seriously.
instead of cutting to the byline, he cuts in, puts a ball through that Archie Gray can't handle because he's covered, and then McAllister just puts a rocket up Vicario's ass that he can't get to. Look at that! What a bang! What a goal!
And Ben Davis's reaction, he just gets to his knees and thumps the ground like in so much anger. I mean, seriously, Tell, what are you fucking doing, you knobhead? Seriously. Absolute effing clown. You're a clown. You're a clown of a player. A clown. Go back to Bayern Munich where you fucking want to rot in the reserves. Fuck that. And they want 60 million for you. You can go away, and I'd rather pay 60 million on something else. What a brain dead player. Seriously. Idiot. Absolute fucking idiot.
I 100% agree with David Clark here. I think this team is definitely mentally weak, right? They had the momentum by getting the first goal. And instead of using that, the first sign of adversity, they fold. And it's
Tottenham again. You can see the heads already starting to drop as well. By the way, you can just see it. Their heads are dropping in Liverpool.
And it's you're absolutely right. And it's up to James Maddison and it's up to Vicario to keep these players engaged. Right? James Maddison is wearing the captain's armband today. Right? Like it's his job to make sure that these players are still engaged and that they're still managed accordingly. And it's like that's when this happens, when adversity hit, it's up to the captain to make sure that these players still have the confidence that they can still get forward.
Do you know what? You don't have to be a captain on the field to turn around to a player and bollock him, and say to him, "You didn't do your job." Like, I'm just absolutely fuming. That was brain dead. We've got a free kick anyway here on the right side. James Maddison is over. Big up to David Clark. Big up Matthew. Big up to Boris.
Yep.
Come into the chat as well. Hope you guys are doing well and joining us. Big up to the 84. No, not really, James. I don't think he has, apart from being offside. Big up to 8 of you that are watching here. Big up everyone. But anyway, it's a free kick to Tottenham Hotspur.
Let's go, James.
27 minutes gone. 2-1 Liverpool. Flicking from Solanke over the bar. That's his second header of the game, and it goes for a corner. Spurs. Can Spurs do the same trick again?
How about Solanke, man?
Yeah,
the funny thing is people question Solanke's movement and being able to get in the right places, but now on two very big set pieces, there's Solanke getting his head on the ball.
Yeah. Corner kick to Spurs.
Big Dom showed up today.
Yeah. It's Slovovich and Danso pushing each other. I don't like, you can see the names on the back of the Tottenham shirts, by the way. I think they could be doing a little bit of a different color, by the way. It's very hard to see them. Yeah. Corner kick anyway. Maddison comes in. Header goes in for Spurs. Liverpool deal with it properly this time. Here's Jed Spence now. Last defender back. Kicks the ball forward. Tries to find James Maddison. He does. Maddison keeps the ball in. Well done, Maddison. And it goes out for a Spurs throw. And good defending. That was defending there, but Alexander Arnold. I don't know.
Do you think this is Trent's final season in a Liverpool shirt?
I think so. He's off to Real Madrid. He'd be off to Real Madrid. Spence crossing. Crossing is so weak. Like, you look at Liverpool, right? Liverpool just break mercifully. Oh, here's Salah. Salah against your doggy. Well done. All the way back to Vicario. Vicario now with the ball. Fuck's sake, Vicario.
Good bird
Jesus
ball.
Christ. Can he not just kick it up the field? And that's not a free kick. Jesus Christ.
Then reminds Spurs fan will blame Maddison, who, if his teammates are performing, is that a player who will dominate. But then again, Spurs have no players who can do that anyways. I'll tell you what, man. You know who showed up properly today was David Clark in the chat. He's on point. Big up, David Clark. You know what's funny is like I just find it so funny that their mentality can shift on a dime. You get the early momentum with a header from Dominic Solanke, and all of a sudden, you lose your tactical awareness on defense. Like it's switched on a dime. Like in that first, what was it? That first 15 minutes, it looks like they were positioned well defensively, making sure that Liverpool, can't do danger moving forward. And all of a sudden they score, and then they just lose their ability.
Over the bar from
They lose their
Alexander
ability,
Arnold.
and it's just like Jesus.
Yeah. Did your heads have gone down completely? It's like, right, we've got the lead. We're all up for it. Come on, we're getting there. We can, and it was just we've gone back into our. I mean, to have the same number of defeats like we did against in 92, 93 under Ozzy Ardil is absolutely unacceptable. But there's players on there that are trying. Solanke's trying. I think Burfield's trying. I think Archie Gray. James Brennan Johnson is hiding. As I said to him before the whistle, by the way, he does it. Any big game he hides. I mean, God forbid if we play like we won't though. We'll be up for it. And you think about it, we've got players like Van de Ven on the bench, Romero on the bench. But I keep saying you don't have to be a captain to bollock a player.
Right.
You look at Liverpool. I swear to God, there's 6 or 7 captains on that pitch that will bollock you if you're not doing your job correctly.
The crazy thing is, it's like on the left-hand side, and there's a good ball through right there. Good on Destiny Udogie. They're trying to pump it up, like on the attack, they're trying to pump it up the left-hand side. And, until sometimes is missing his overlap, he's trying to take the game into his own hands. You kind of appreciate that tenacity, but on the other side, like I want to see them try to play Brendan Johnson in as well too. Over the top balls, Brendan Johnson's not that great, but if you're running in free space and you try to play one forward to get it on his foot, he can be somewhat effective. It's like you have to show Liverpool something else besides trying to force it into James Maddison or tell up the left-hand side, because Liverpool's just going to overload.
I mean, James Maddison is still moaning to the referee, by the way. I mean, let it go, man. Just get on with the game. Stop moaning about a tackle that happened 5 minutes ago, for fuck's sake.
At least he's not on the bench laughing and acting like it's a big joke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Here's a corner to Liverpool anyway. 32 minutes gone. Liverpool 2, Spurs 1. If we can keep it to 2-1 at half-time.
Yeah, Dave, but you know what? In the context of the rest of the season, understanding that there's nothing to play for, you actually have to run out Watvhalong and Archie Gray together. You have to, like, if they're the future, they should be getting minutes together in the midfield. I don't have a problem with those two.
For fuck's sake, seriously. Here we go. Here we go. Here's Gakpo 3-1.
Oh, wow. Yep. There's Cody Gakpo. It's easy.
Sack Ange tonight. For fuck's sake. Just sack him tonight. Get it over and done with. Don't care about the blooming Europa League. Just sack him tonight. I mean, we're absolute shambles.
In a space of 15 in a space of 15 minutes, they put 3 on the board, and David Clark, Paul Pablo said, can't watch anymore of Vicario's fault. Here's what I will say is that we knew coming into this game there was going to be heavy rotation. We probably weren't going to see Romero Van de Ven back there ahead of the first leg against Bodo. So I mean, I understand it's painful to watch. I mean, they concede 3 in 15 minutes, but in the context of you're playing Danso and Davies, who the level of talent between them and Romero and Van de Ven is obvious. And then you have a midfield 3 that has 2 teenagers. Like, is this, like, to me, this isn't a surprise. We were expecting heavy rotation. You know what I mean?
Don't care if it's I don't care if it's heavy rotation or not.
Yeah.
You don't go out there and play like a bunch of.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree.
I don't care. Look, you go out there. I understand what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And I know everyone's because, oh, but we're playing Liverpool. I don't give a flying monkeys if we're playing Liverpool. I want to go out there and give 100% for 90 plus minutes. You got James Madison just before that corner moaning to the referee about a tackle that happened 5 minutes ago. You got players that not trying. Liverpool just tearing us apart. I mean, look at this. I mean, they're literally tearing us apart. But and it shows how good Liverpool. By the way, I mean, we're watching a great side here against a bunch of amateurs. That it's supposed to be a squad game, Steve. Football is a squad game. You know that as well as I do.
Oh, without a doubt.
And if you are picked, your job is to go out onto that pitch and give 110%. Whatever you're not, if you're a starter or you're a squad player or you're a youngster, you go out and give 110%. Where are our leaders? Where's our captains on the pitch? Where's Madison saying to players, you're not doing your job? Where's Ange on the touchline shouting and screaming and roaring at the players to be more, to give more? They just don't care. None of these players give a shit. And the ones I feel sorry for are the fans that have gone up there, traveled in their thousands, paid money to go up, to go and watch this team and not give them anything. And I'm sorry, it's not good enough. And look, we all can get excited about Thursday, but today should be as much as important as Thursday is. I'm sorry. The Premier League is your bread and butter. I don't give a shit about Thursday. We win on Thursday, brilliant. We're into it. We get to a final, yippee. But the point, we're going to now finish. We're equaling as many defeats as we equaled under Ozzy Idealist in 92-93, a season we nearly went down, by the way. We nearly got relegated in that season. It's just how far we've dropped back as a team to playing as we did in the early 90s.
Right, and I believe that if it wasn't for the January transfer of Jurgen Klinsmann coming in, we probably would have went down. I think
that was later on. Like that was.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is Philip Brady's absolutely right in the context, and you and I both agree that the league should matter, but Philip Brady says to me today means nothing because they put all their eggs in that basket in the Europa League. It's sad but true. Don't get me wrong. You and I both want to see this team give 110% in the league. But that being said, it's like, how many times have we seen this team treat these league fixtures like a friendly?
I do. Look, I get what Philip is saying. I do understand. And look, Philip, you know how much respect I have for you, man, and how much respect I have for you, Philip. And you know what you mean to me as a person. And look, here it goes. Here's Liverpool again. Good defending that was, I think, by Ben Davis. And at least he's trying. Look, I get what you're saying, Philip. But look, you know as well as I do. You, me, have done so many watch-alongs together, Philip, and where we asked the team just to give just to give the team 100%. That's all we asked for. I don't mind losing. If we lose, I want to lose, go down fighting. I get Thursday's important. I get it. But I wanted us today. I went for 3-1, 2-0. I thought we were going to win. Delusional Tron. Talking out of my ass. I was getting abuse on social media for my prediction. And I don't care, really. It goes above my head, half of it. But that's how much the club means to me. I love my club. I know Philip does, and Philip has been a supporter for over 60 years. He's seen it all.
Wonderful play right there. What's interesting though is we talk about our squad rotation and the level of talent they possess. Like if we were playing Leeds or Burnley or Norwich City, they would be awesome. And so it begs the question. It's like when you look at it, it's like Ben Davis and Kevin Danso, good players, but have they shown they're good enough to compete at this level? Archie and Gray and Lucas Bergvall are 18 and 19 years old. Matisse Tell is 19 years old. Brendan Johnson is 22. And it's like, you know, you look at the quality and you're like, well, I see a bunch of raw prospects, but I also, you know, but that being said, it's like, are these right now players capable of competing at this level as squad rotational players? And by themselves, it looks like no, but you have leadership out there. You have leadership out there.
What leadership?
Well, alleged leadership you have.
Allegedly. I think you're right, Steve. It's allegedly leadership. You're spot on that. It's alleged leadership. I mean, look, I feel sorry for the likes of Bergville and Archie Gray and Jed Spence. And here's Tell again. Tell is just, I'm saying it now. I don't want them to get him in the summer. I find he's a selfish player. I think he tries to take it all himself. Good cross in. Had her out by Liverpool.
Well, what's interesting, though, is that I actually don't, because here's the thing, right? Especially with player development and a team that's learning how to win, you have to go through growing pains, right? And like this season is going to be huge for the development of Bergvall and Gray, because they know exactly what this feels like, what it looks like, and where they have to get to in order to, you know, to essentially start winning. And I firmly believe that, because I've been on many teams where we got our butts kicked every single week. Not because of a lack of talent, but because we didn't know how to play together. We didn't know how to win together. And eventually, a couple of years down the road, we actually started winning, because we have that experience. And so in some context, Dermot, I understand what you're talking about. And in some ways I kind of do as well too. But that being said, like this season to me, I feel is going to be so valuable, excuse me, for the growth of those two players, 100%.
I mean, you look at Slot; he's losing his shit over a throw-in. Yeah. He's losing his absolute shit over a throw-in. And you look at Ange Postecoglou. Philip says in the chat, Ange lack of passion on the sideline. It does. I mean, you look at Conte, you look at other players as we're coming up to half-time. I mean, I just, do you know, what's Ange's going to be half-time thing going to be? Oh, it's all right, lads, we've got Thursday. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's not good enough.
Right, because Arne Slot has instilled this belief that there's an expectation of how we're supposed to play, and anything less than that is unacceptable. And there's a good ball over.
Oh, I'm glad to see Brendan Johnson's on the pitch. I mean, that should be a penalty. If that's not a penalty, nothing fucking is. Oh. You telling me he got the ball? He took the player out, and that's a penalty.
And by the way, and I was mentioning Brendan, way to use him. If you actually put a good ball forward and have him run onto it, that's the good of Brendan Johnson, of him being able to use some of his speed. And he absolutely burned Robinson right there. He gets around the corner. He's at the byline. Boom.
Oh, that's a penalty. That's a penalty.
It has to be.
That is a penalty. I'm sorry. That's a penalty.
Yep.
That's a penalty straight off.
The question, let me ask you, can I ask you a question real quick, though? Because did he actually impede Tell's chance to score right there? Because it looked like he gets his foot in first to get the ball away, and in that motion, Tell gets clipped.
Yeah, no, you can see him, he goes for the ball, but he misses the ball completely, and he does impede Tell, so he clips it. They haven't given it. I mean, oh, for fuck's sake. Any other team, that's a penalty. But Tottenham don't get penalties.
So if Tottenham loses, it will be their first season in Premier League history where they mathematically finish out of the top 10.
Yeah,
with a loss today, which
is, I know. I mean, again, 19 losses. I look. I hate harping. I know I said it in my match day stats before the whistle, like, but that was a penalty. That was a stone cold penalty. And what's VAR for? If VAR isn't there to help the referee make the right decisions, that was a penalty. I give up with football now. I literally give up with football.
I can understand the no call for the penalty, because Kanate did make contact with the ball first in his challenge before making contact with Tell. And that's the thing, right? Because if the challenge was late and he actually impeded Tell first before the ball, 100% that's a penalty. But it looked like after Slinky touched the ball first as it goes over to Tell, and it looks like Kanate actually put in a good challenge right there. I can understand. It was close. It was close though. It was really close.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked the question. It's like, did he actually impede his chance to score, or was it a clean clearance?
We are going down to 4 minutes of time added on, guys, at the end of the first half here. So I hope that's come up on screen. It has. No, it hasn't. Okay. Well, you can just about see. I tell you, Michael, look, you know how much I love, and I was absolutely buzzing yesterday. My other team, Celtic, won the league yesterday by winning 5-0. We champions of Scotland again, so I was over the moon with that. And I was hoping for a good performance today from Spurs to end off my weekend on a real good high note. But I won't be loving Ange again, Michael, when he wins Europa Cup, because as much as Ange is a good manager, his bread and butter is the Premier League. You win a cup because you win in the cup is because you're lucky with draws, and you're sort of dictated by the draws you get in the cup competition. The league is about consistency. We haven't showed consistency. This is not about injuries. We all said when the injured players come back, things would improve. They haven't improved. You've got players that are in the camp that are not behind Ange. You've got players in the camp that are with Ange. You've got Madison moaning at referees. All he's doing is moaning all the time. You got Tell again not playing. Right, yeah, you got Tell not playing other players in, just trying to take it upon himself to make himself a hero. And we're such disconnected as a team, Steve, as a unit. The fans, the club, the players were all disconnected. We're fractured. You said it yourself. I showed you the Liverpool players coming in, but for the game, but you said to me how you would love to see that at Tottenham. We're never going to see that because we're so fucking fractured.
It's weird because under Pochettino, the team was built so well, and they performed so well in the Premier League, where they almost seemed like they took the cup matches as a friendly. Where in the inverse is we have a team that is built to perform well in the cups, but for whatever reason they're a league form. Now, I'm not suggesting they built a team to not perform in the Premier League, but I always get back to mentality because it's true.
Yeah.
When you have a group of players that have mailed off the rest of the Premier League season and they're just focused on, this Europa League, it sends a bad message to fans, because if you don't care, why should we?
Now,
and there's your boy Daniel Levy right there. Yeah, he can't be. He can't be.
Look, I want to clarify this now before anyone jumps on my fucking bandwagon, right? And starts criticizing me like one person will probably criticize me for having an opinion. But it's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have an opinion. Ange Postecoglou, for me, is a good manager. He's won everywhere he's gone. He could well win us the Europa League, right? Could well do that. Depends on Thursday. If we get a good result on Thursday and go in the second leg with 1 foot in the final, I think grand we're there. But Daniel Levy has to come out. If Ange isn't our man for next season, surely for confidence of the team and for the fans, and to let people know, whoever does take over the club, there should be more communication between Tottenham Hotspur and the fans to let us know what is happening. Because at the moment, full well, Steve, as well as I do, as well as James does, and people in the chat, you're going to get everyone wanting Ange gone tonight. You're going to get the people say, Ange out tonight. Get him gone. Get him gone. Sack him. Bring somebody else in. And full well he ain't going to go. So isn't that down to the club to put? And it is half time, guys, here. It is Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. We'll bring James in. But I do want to, continue on that question.
Yeah, there will be.
Surely the club should actually say to the fans, right, this is what we're doing. Ange is leaving at the end of the season, or we're going to stick by Ange for next season. He's our manager. He's got a 4-year contract. We're going to stick to him by that. Or look, whatever happens, there needs to be more communication between us and the club. I want to start with you, James, because you've been watching it. And I'll go to you, Steve. I've got a separate question for you, Steve. I've got a beauty for you, man. You're going to love this question I've got for you. I have a beauty for you. You look at Tottenham's first half performance, James. You and me are probably, and we're all on the same page here, but you and me be going absolute mental like I have been on screen, as you have on the background. We scored, and I saw you my reaction, and I did my, what's her name, the cooks, when she went out to Norwich City, pissed drunk, and said, "Let's be having you." What was her name?
Hang on.
I don't know.
Sorry, Dermo.
That's right. So anyway, you know who I was on about from when she was chairman of Norwich. She came on.
Delia Smith.
Delia Smith. If you haven't seen it, Steve, watch it. It's the most funniest bit of YouTube. It's very hilarious, wasn't it, Steve? She was absolutely pissed drunk. So excuse with language. What's your thought in the first half? And if you were Levy, do you sack Ange tonight? Because you know
he's not. He's not sacking Ange tonight.
I know
he's
that,
not
but you
do
know,
it.
now the point I'm saying that is there is going to be cause for that tonight. I don't think.
Oh yeah, there is going to be. It's going to be. Look, we've had this discussion many times. I'm sick of hearing about it. Sack Ange. It's going to be regurgitated through up until Thursday, and then depending on Thursday, what the results are going to be Thursday, either it'll die down because we'll win on Thursday, or it'll be ramped up double fold because we lose on Thursday. Look, to me, Dom's goal, great goal, loved it, good play. I thought, actually, wow, we're turning up here. First 15 minutes, we really showed up. Their second goal, absolutely shocking from Matisse Tell. Put Archie Gray in a world of bother, and poor kid didn't really know what to do. Third goal, Brennan Johnson. What the hell was he doing? He fell on his back end, and he didn't even attempt to play ball. He just fell over and sat there and just let him hit the ball. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Where is he? What is he? What went through his head? Because he got turned inside out. He got absolutely made to look like a fool, and he's been invisible. He might as well not even be on the pitch. The one little good thing he did was that run where I look, if he touched that ball, if Canate touched that ball, it must have been a hair off his freaking leg. Because to me, it looked like he just took the ball. He took the player.
I can see that. Yeah.
It's been such a frustrating, because that first 15 minutes, I thought yes, and then we just disappeared. We just disappeared. And the thing is when they equalise, like I'm listening to you guys in the show, obviously, and what I could see is, yes, I could see the heads started to drop, but they regressed. It was unbelievable how much they regressed and went within themselves. Okay, fair enough, and Liverpool equalised it. There was always going to be a chance that they were going to equalise.
Correct.
But you don't regress like that. You don't go inward like that. And that is where I think of the second goal led thing. And then when that second goal went in, it was like, okay, that's it. We've given up. And there's been glimmers of an attacking threat from us. But apart from that, we've just been, Liverpool might as well just set up tents in our half.
Yeah. I mean, Steve, I said it in the first half that I said it. I don't know if you heard it, but I said our heads went down after that first goal. You could see it. They went down, Steve.
Yeah.
Brennan Johnson for me has been woeful, and I'm his biggest fan, and I am, and I will back that. I will protect that player as much as I can. Look, the club have to come out and do something, don't they? And how does the club reconnect the fans? And how does the club fix the fracture that's between the fan base? The fan base is fractured. YouTube Spurs community is completely fractured. The club is fractured. You can't have an opinion without being criticised for it. What can the club do to come out to put us all together under the same, build us together and bring us together? What does the club have to do?
Win the Europa League, flat out. The only thing that's going to change this is the trophy, because the reality is, and I think a lot of fans realize that even if they do sack Ange Postecoglou tonight, there's still going to be problems with this football club, and that runs all the way up to the top. And there's, the one thing that the difference between Tottenham and a Liverpool is the fact that they are organized from the top down, from their ownership through their their front office with their director of football, and then also with their manager Arne Slot. Because again, when you have a team that has a culture and an identity that's surrounded by lifting trophies, when they make changes, they don't deviate from what makes them successful, right? When you looked at Liverpool in the 90s and the early 2000s under what was it, Roberto Martinez, and then they decide to go in a different direction. They bring in a coach that fits the Liverpool model. When that didn't work, they brought in Jurgen Klopp, and they gave Jurgen Klopp time, and we saw the benefits of that. And now they have Arne Slot, and they haven't missed a beat. The thing about Tottenham Hotspurs, every single time they chop and change, they always bring in somebody that wants to play a different style of football. They change the philosophy, which means new players come in, and we've gotten so far away from what Tottenham Hotspur's identity is and what our DNA is, and that that's the thing, is at least I can give Ange Postecoglou some credit because he recognized it when he came in. We have to change our identity, and we have to get into a mentality of expecting to win. And that takes time. That is the whole thing, is identities are not formed overnight. It takes time. And I was saying this in mid-match when you said you felt sorry for Bergvall and Gray. And I was like, well, I can understand that. But this season is going to be so valuable for their development because they know what losing feels like, and they know exactly what it looks like. And they are in such a good position because they know exactly you
there?
The thing about
you there, Steve? I think Steve might have been. I think Steve's frozen. Is he, James? I think he is.
I'm getting. I hear a little bit of his voice, but then it breaks up. I think what Steve's saying really. What I'm trying to read between the lines on what he's saying is, but Lucas Bergvall, Archie, the young players that we've got, they're gonna learn and develop, and they've tasted loss, and they're not going to want to taste that again. They're not going to want to be in this situation again. They're going to want to press on and push on and try and drive us to be better.
Look,
I mean,
James, you and me have been supporters for a long time, man. I think mostly the same, about 40 odd years between us, haven't we? Rarely.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 80 years supporting Tottenham. Michael McDonald knows I'm a big Celtic fan as well. And Ange Postecoglou, nobody was more happier than me when Ange come to Tottenham as a Tottenham manager, because I knew what he did up in Celtic. I knew exactly what he did. And I've always been a big Angian fan, but it's only the last couple of months that I've started wavering from that because of the players are not listening to him. But the club haven't backed him as well. The club have not backed him in the transfer market. So how can a manager manage with one hand tied behind his back? But we can't keep going on from one disaster to another. Big up to Colin X, my Celtic brother from Wales. He says, get Poch back in. That's all back to, and that will bring us all back together. I think Steve's Wi-Fi went down, I think.
Oh. Me and Steve talked about that in the MLS watch along at full time and half time with regards to Poch, and I think we both sort of agreed on regards to that is that Pochettino is not leaving America. No. He's not leaving the US national team before the World Cup.
I heard that last night, and I agree with you 100%. So the club have to come out and say, look, we're going to if they're going to stick by Ange. It also depends on the takeover as well, by the way.
Yeah, and of course it does. Yeah,
another thing as well that has to come across is the takeover. And Michael, look, he says I'm not being cheeky, but it isn't usually Cockneys that support Manchester teams. It's the other way around. How do you end up supporting? Look, just be nice to Michael. He's a value member of this team. He's a value member of this community. I've known Michael an awful long time because we're both Celtic fans as well. And look, I just want a second half where we have to go out in this second half now. It's 0-0. Let's go out with this attitude. It's 0-0 in the second half. Welcome back, Steve. Did you hit it with a hammer, reboot it, kick it? What did you do?
That's exactly what I did. I said, bitch, please. Not now. Not now. I had to lay it down. I had to lay it down on my computer, and sure enough, we're back.
Do you think Ange has to say that to the players?
Yeah, you know what's funny is you just have what Ange has to do is rip into his team at halftime and just say, hey, listen, this is unacceptable. And by the way, we have a big match coming on Thursday, and if you have any desire to be a part of the squad come Thursday, you actually have to play like you actually want to be there. And by the way, it's like none of this is good enough. No. But what I was trying to say earlier is that in order to form an identity, you have to show ambition and you have to win. And if we want anything that resembled this morning at Anfield, it starts by winning. By winning a trophy. I think it's massively important that happens. Because it shows that this project isn't just a waste of time.
I mean, I got back to 77, 78 when Keith Birkinshaw took this club down. I came back up. He brought Ozzy and Ricky in the following season when we got back up to the first division, and we built a side that won 2 FA Cups and the UEFA Cup. And Steve Perryman always said the first trophy they won, that gave them the belief they can go on to win another one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
And if you look, how many times have we won a trophy, but we've never really kicked on from winning that trophy? Under Keith Birkinshaw, he was allowed to buy players to adapt to that squad, to adapt to the team. But you had players like Steve Perryman, Graham Roberts, Paul Miller, Tony Galvin, Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle was like, the team was built around Glenn Hoddle. And you had the likes of Steve Perryman, who'd been there before under the great Bill Nick, when he won 3 trophies early in his career under Bill Nicholson, 71, 72, and 73. So he knew what it was like to win. He went through the pain of the decline and the relegation of 77. He was there under Keith Birkinshaw to bring them back up. We only got back up because they got a point on the last game of the season against Southampton. But Ozzy and Ricky in, we didn't have a great return to the first division, but we built a side that Bill Nick handprint is on that 80 side. We have nobody in that team that can group players that can gel a team together. We need a manager that can gel all these talented players we have into a unit. If we can see that, us as fans will get behind that. We will get behind that 110%. And I mean, you saw my reaction when we scored. I went absolutely nuts. Mm-hmm. And that's how much this club means to me. I'm an absolute delusional Tottenham fan, but I want my team to be successful. But we are getting ready for the second half. The players are about to come out.
Just dead quick, Ben, for both of you. Does Ange have to make changes at half time?
Yes. I bring on Romero and Van de Ven for the back four straight away.
I don't necessarily see that, but what I will say is that I would like to see Kulusevski come into this one. I think the second half could use a little bit more creativity, because the one thing I've noticed is that we are hell bent on pushing the ball down the left side of the pitch. And it almost seems like Liverpool is anticipating this. I'd like to see our attack a little bit more wide open.
So there has been changes.
Yep. Here comes Pat
Sar's on. And Kulu's on as well. Gray and Madison off, Kulu and Sarr on in the midfield. So you got your wish, Steve.
But I don't agree with Kulu for Madders.
Rockford underway. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, James.
Leave Madders on, take Johnson off, who's been completely ineffectual, and put Kulu out on the right and leave Madders in the middle. But it makes no sense. That it's a negative change for me, because you're leaving your most ineffectual player on the pitch. So to me, Johnson's not starting on Thursday. Johnson's not playing Thursday. If he's staying out there, Johnson's not playing on Thursday.
I would have preferred Kulu and Madison underneath S10s and Odopera on the right, at least.
Yeah.
Well, right, James, we'll see you either at full time or in final score.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, we go.
Here we go.
Here's Johnson now. Johnson on the way. Oh, gone out for a corner.
By the way, how weak was that? How weak was that from Brendan Johnson?
Very weak.
They played him in beautifully, and then that's his reaction of putting a weak, lazy ball to get deflected.
Yeah, I know.
And he had a step too, and then it was just a terrible.
Look at
attempt.
Andrew's reaction. Look at his reaction, like.
Yeah, look, at least he's actually giving a reaction.
Yeah. I mean, can I just say, I know you brought up a few comments there about Chin Wang Spurs. Look, I think everyone's entitled to their opinion. Everyone's entitled to how they see the game, how they see the players. Everyone's entitled, like you're entitled to your opinion. Me and Steve and James and Colum and whoever's entitled to our opinions. We will laud them up because they're good players. They're good young players. They're there. Yeah. And they're giving their all, more than what some of the senior players have made, by the way. Where's your crap for James Madison, for probably Brennan Johnson as well? Basuma, Tell, all them players, right, have not given it all. But you see Archie Gray and you see Burfield, they've given it their all. But again, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to how you see the team. But I think you've been a bit unfair on Bergville and players like that, where I think you should be pointing the fingers at some of the senior players that don't turn up, that don't give a shit. I don't know what you say to that, Steve. Sorry.
Well, you say that you're entitled to your opinion, and that's absolutely correct. And he's entitled to share them, but that doesn't necessarily make him right. But that's okay. But what I will say is that, it's hard to expect world class from 18, 19-year-olds being thrown in an environment like Anfield against a team like Liverpool that are just a well-oiled machine at this point. But that being said, it's like, it's like that. It's hard for me to play down those two when they're absolutely right. They are out there giving it their best. And it's like at the very least, one of the things that I absolutely like is the effort.
Yeah. I think he's been rested, I think, Carl. And he says, Chamberlain, I'm not asking for work, I'm asking for effort on players. Look, I get that. And look, we're all hurting.
Right. But the thing about it is Bergvall and Gray actually are giving effort. But then you see a guy like Brendan Johnson, who's not necessarily making it, or Madison in certain points where he just wasn't putting forth the effort. So it's like, if you're gonna call him out, that's great, but call out everyone. Oh, nice through ball. Oh my God. Oh my God, that should have been 4 right there. Oh my God.
I mean, our defense opened just like the Moses opening the Red Sea.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's championship quality versus world class attacking at this point.
Can I ask
look how unorganized that back line was right there. Oh my God.
How good is this Liverpool team in the Premier? Is this as good as any of Pep's championship winning title. So I think they are. I
think they're a different team than Pep's sides. But that being said, it's like you can tell the quality, and you can tell that this team understands how to play together. They are a well-oiled machine. As far as like in the pantheon of great Premier League winning sides, I would say that, are they up with some of those United teams of the past? Are they up there with some of the Arsenal winning sides? I don't necessarily know as far as a quality standpoint, as far as like players, but this should be a respected side, because they know exactly what the assignment is, and they go out there and pass it every single time.
I tell you one thing: the way we've started this second half, Steve, we have not come out at all. Liverpool all over us. Like, we have not started well at all, man.
Like, is this team on the same wavelength of Pep's treble winning seasons? I don't know. But that being said, it's like they're still a very, very good team that needs to be respected as far as Premier League winners go.
Good header from Danso.
Yeah, but then you have the outliers like Blackburn and Leicester City that won it as well too. Yeah. It's like those sides also have to be respected as well too.
Can you imagine putting a few quid on 5,000 to 1 at the start of the season for Leicester to win the league that year? I think you get back a few quid, but just Liverpool they've knocked it up a gear in the second half, haven't they? They really have. They stepped it up a gear.
What's so shambolic is the organization of this back line. At times they look so disjointed, man.
It is.
And it's like, okay, so
please, David, stop high-fiving because you conceded a fucking corner. Jesus Christ.
The question I have for you is, if Van de Ven and Romero were in this match today, is this scoreline different from 3-1 that it is now?
Yeah. I think so. Big up to Super Mario Bowser. I'm not sure if I can say that on YouTube, but I don't think we can, because it can be offensive, so I'm not going to say it. But big up. We got
what is Yid? What is a Yid?
It's a Jewish. It's a very divisive within the community. There's some Jewish fans don't like us saying it.
Then don't say it. That's horseshit.
Yeah, even Carl says don't say it. No, I will not say that live on air.
Yeah, any slander towards my Jewish brethren, that's going to met with
it's not slander, because Tottenham are a Jewish club. It's just something that's sung quite regularly at the ground. It's just, I think there has to be more education on certain words. I mean, it means super Jews. That's what it means. That's the actual wording of it.
Yeah, I still don't necessarily like it.
Yeah, that's why, out of respect for you, Steve, that's why I wasn't saying it. Out of respect for you as well. So please think that I was trying to be respectful.
Oh yeah, no, it's all good. I just wanted to know what it meant, and I also think it's anybody that just will sit there and just be like, oh well, it means a good thing. It's like, no, because you're still describing something as like, oh well, it's Jewish.
Yeah. Do you know what? And I don't even sing it at the stadium. I will not sing at the stadium. Look, I'm Irish, and I'm Irish. I mean, Michael, I'm not sure what it is. It is an offensive. All Spurs fans call me an unrepentant Finian. I'm Irish. I'm a Finian. I'm an Irish Finian, the same as Michael, and I'm proud of that. But I wouldn't go to a Celtic match and start singing that, because I feel the person next to me might be offended by that. Yeah. You know, and I have to respect you. I respect you, and out of respect for you, I won't say things like that because I know it offends you. So I have to try to be fair to you and respect you. And
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. By the way, I want to
Lord Vicario caught a ball from a corner.
Yeah.
Gee,
by the way, I want to give a few shout outs to Celtic on winning yet another Scottish Premier League. Congratulations to Celtic. But I also want to shout out I want to send some flowers out to Wrexham Wrexham, they secured their 3rd straight promotion, and next year championship.
They did.
I'm very proud of the North Welsh outfit. And just seriously, like in 4 years, they've secured 3 promotions, and within the next 2 years, you're going to see Wrexham playing in the top flight. It's going to be just unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here like Column's right. We're getting outplayed massively, but I was so happy with Celtic winning the league. Oh, fuck's sake!
That's still But look at that though. Still, and he gives the ball up on the byline. Jesus,
I was so happy because it was like. It's such a conflicting. I thought, right, Spurs can get a result at Liverpool, Celtic win the league. It'd be a good weekend for me. Be a really good season if Spurs win the Europa League and Celtic do the treble again. That will be a good summer to go into. But Liverpool, just this second half, Steve, they've really stepped it up a gear, and we can't cope with it. Why Brendan Johnson's still on the pitch, I do not know.
Yeah. Spurs.
There's Arne Slot. Look, I said it beforehand, Steve, that this Arne Slot isn't an Arne Slot side. This is a Jurgen Klopp side.
Well, this is that. I don't know, man. This is a Liverpool side that's, as far as I'm concerned, this is just on par with what Liverpool is and what Liverpool has always been. But Arne Slot has instilled this belief that anything less than perfect is unacceptable, and they followed it to a T. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn off. And if you beat them, you have to bring your A game. Like this was always going to be a massive test, going to Anfield and even trying to play a draw against Liverpool. Knowing the context of what Spurs are this year and what they are now, as far as focusing on the Europa League. So I looked at this and I was like, well, if we can get a draw, great. If not,
just don't embarrass ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're going to be good defending that was by getting the high. It is. I get the fans. I mean, I just said in the group chat, do I do Celtic watch-alongs instead for the rest of the season?
That's funny. Do you know what I want to see in the second half? I just want to see that attacking intensity and just throw a caution to the wind. I do. If Liverpool score 2 more, fine, but that doesn't mean that we can't put a couple more through. I'd rather go down fighting than. That's exactly right.
We're lying down. Right. We're lying down. We're just letting them. Have we had a shot on target in the second half? No.
Oh boy.
Oh, for fuck, Romero. What, Vicario? What are you fucking doing, man? Seriously.
He went out to try to play the ball. He went out to try to play the ball, and he was lucky that Liverpool didn't.
They're asking for a penalty. They reckon there was a handball in there. We're an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. It's gone to VAR, I think. Is this a penalty? What do you reckon, Steve? If that's that's harsh.
But you know what the crazy thing is, like home dude turned his body. Oh, hold on, here we go. Oh, it hit off his shoulder. No, that's not a handball.
It all depends on his arm, though. Was his arm?
Good on Ben Davis for clearing that, but no, because that ball, that should not be a penalty.
Well, Jazz says it's gone to VAR.
Yeah, no, it has gone to VAR.
For
potential handball.
If they give this, then fuck it. No penalty. Good decision.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, it looked like it caromed off his shoulder. That can't be a handball.
This is where Ben Davis should stand up. Vicario, people like this experienced players should actually take the reins and say, I'd love to know what they say in the huddle. It must be, let's not embarrass ourselves. Column's happy because Doncaster Rovers got promotion. I think they're still in chance.
Donnie's.
Yeah, I'm still wondering there's Danso with a shot.
Excellent, man. I'm glad to see the Donnies are moving up. I've always appreciated the Doncaster Rovers, but yeah, dude, I just think it's a great time for lower league football. You're starting to see some very good teams matriculate up through the ranks, and I'm very happy for Doncaster. Incredibly happy for Wrexham. That story was awesome. And to be honest with you, man, I'm happy for Leeds, man, getting back to the Premier League. Same thing with Burnley. The early question that I have for you, Jerma, regarding Leeds and Burnley, do they have the wherewithal of staying up? Can they stay up?
Yeah, I'll give you answer. I think they can. I think that question. I think we'll have that discussion probably for the pre-Premier League show. I know I get what you're getting at. I think they can. I really do. I think they can tend the buck. I think the teams that come up this season were very well ill prepared, and I don't think they were properly financially done well. I thought Ipswich were a bit unlucky actually, but here's Liverpool again.
The thing I like about Leeds is the fact that I think they were on balloon payments, so they didn't have to overspend to get to the Premier League. So they're going to be able to use their solidarity payments correctly and put some good players around them that are going to help them stay up. Nice save by Vicario. I just think that the question is whether Brendan Aronson stays with Leeds. Is he good enough to compete at the Premier League level? I'd love to see my U.S. players in the Premier League, but man,
a stat came up there, right? We have not had a shot on target in the whole second half. Liverpool have had 13 touches in our box. We've had nothing in theirs.
I like that. That's good. What a time to be alive.
I'm sorry. I'm just so angry with this. And look, I tell you why I'm angry. And I'm angry because this is a club I love. This is a club I support. And I am emotional when it comes to these watch-alongs. And I ain't going to change for no man or nobody. I am going to be me. And I'm going to be angry. And I am going to say what I want to say because I think as a fan and as a content creator and as a Tottenham fan, I'm entitled to say what I say and in my opinion. And we're a disgrace. We're an absolute disgrace. There's players out there that don't give a shit, don't care. And it hurts. I'm hurting now. This is me hurting. I am hurting because every time we lose, it hurts. I hate losing. And there's some of the fans that can take it, switch off and take it. And I'm glad they can. I can't because I want my club to do so well. I mean, for fuck's sake, Jesus Christ.
Salah cuts in and just puts it in. It's
and do you know what gets me, Steve, right? We all know Ange's staying to the rest of the season. This is why I kept saying the club have to come out and say, this is our man for the rest of the season.
Well, they have, haven't they? They have by saying that if he doesn't win the Premier League, he's out. Which basically lets you know that he's going to be in the job until at least Thursday. Like everything is hinging on his Europa League performance, right? And so in some context, they already have said that. But and look at that. That's just disrespectful. Mo Salah's taking a selfie with.
It is. But look, if you're a Liverpool fan, can you blame them? It's the first time they've won the league in front of the fans since the 90s. Do you know what I mean? And you can't blame. I'm sure Tottenham players would do that if we were at White Hart Lane and the South Stand. And look at the way they broke, Steve. Just look at the way they broke. They just absolutely destroyed us. What's your doggy doing? Does he not know that Salah's there? Does he not care? He
quit.
This is what angers me. It's what angers me.
Yeah, but we all know that essentially this amounts to a friendly. But what I will say though is that you're absolutely right. That's what angers me the most is the utter disrespect, because the reality is, there's a shot on all. But here's why it's disrespectful, because we have seen even under Mourinho, under Poch, under Mourinho, under Conte, And even in some context under Nuno, even when Ryan Mason was a caretaker, when we lost, we still showed up and played.
Yeah. Well,
and it's like, yes, losses sting, but losses hurt even more when the players themselves literally just have this weak mentality of it's going to be okay because we have Europa League on Thursday.
That's not good enough, though.
I'm just saying that's what makes me angry, because I can handle losses. Losses are a part of the game, but it's like when you literally just show no respect for the game, that's when it pisses me off. And that's the thing. It's like, we can talk about the fans, and you're 100% right, but when you actually disrespect the game itself, that's where my problem comes in.
Yeah. I would love to know if James can tell us in the private chat what the fans are singing. Are they singing Levy out? Are they singing Ange out? Are they singing You Don't Know What You're Doing? How can we, I mean, finish 17th, right? Win the Europa League. We have no right to go into the Champions League, Steve. We have no right. We don't have a right to be there.
Well, if we win it, then, if we win it, we do. I mean,
yeah, I get it. But... I get it. We do. But here's Liverpool again. What a save from Vicario. I get it. If you win, you get into the Champions League. I think that's not fair, because I think if you win the Europa League, then you should stay in the Europa League. You have a right to defend your trophy. But to finish 17th and win and get into the Champions League, that's sort of disrespecting the teams that have finished above you or just outside the Champions League places. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And I think UEFA, I think this new UEFA league thing, I think there's a show in it in the summer as well for content, Steve, as well, and James, where we do that. But I just feel, look, for a team like Bodo Glint, it is shooting practice. It is.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, look, we've got this carrot at the end of our donkey that we can get Champions League football, but we don't deserve to be there because we're not good enough. We're not good enough.
I will say that really, for me, all of this is going to be predicated on our summer transfer window. And looks like Richarlison's coming in, Solanke's out.
I know,
like Tell is off, and Odebear's on. Johnson stays on.
Is it Odebar or Odebear?
Odebear.
How Johnson is still on, I don't know.
I'll just say this, right? This has been a shambolic season from first start. Like, I haven't seen anything like it. I will just say this, that I actually agree with you. I don't think that we deserve it based on the league form. Absolutely, we don't deserve it, and we are exactly where we're supposed to be in the table. But that being said, what I really would like to see is, because in year one, the hand that you're dealt is the hand that you're dealt. In year two, after the first year, you get rid of the players that can't, and you bring in the next wave of players. And then after the second season, you get rid of the players that won't. And I would love to see this team scrub itself of players that have a weak mentality. Because if we do get Champions League, we're going to need players that are going to be committed to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. And there are some already on the squad, but there's others that play this game just utterly, with absolutely no grace, no respect. It just pisses me off.
It does. Tequila said it a little while ago to me, and I didn't agree with it at the time. And he said it to me about 6 months ago, and I thought, do you know what? Oh, here's Liverpool again. Salah, it's 5. Is it 5? It's an own goal. It's 5.
Destiny Udogi.
Yeah, own goal. 5-1 Liverpool. And he said to me, Dermot, he said, we're doing the stream. And he just came out with it. And I thought, I bit back a little bit. I thought, no, do you know what? I don't agree with that. It could be offside, said David Clark. Would check out for that. And he said, it needs burning down, Dermot, and starting again. And do you know what? I actually agree with him now. The house that Bill Nick built has been the foundations that he laid for Tottenham Hotspur, I think, are broken, destroyed, whatever. Is he offside? Did that come off your doggy, or did it come off Salah, Steve?
Anyway. I thought it was an own goal.
I agree with you as well. Let's see.
But here's the thing, though, about burning it down is that you're doing it again. You're starting over again, and I don't have faith in Johan Lang or Scott Munn. And the thing about this is here's the thing, and I will. There's going to be plenty of fans who will say that to do it under Ange Postecoglou would be absolutely asinine, and you're essentially screwing yourself over. Okay, fine. I take that into consideration, but the reality is, it's like I look at the core of this team, and I do see a good core that needs to be built upon, and I kind of want to see that because I do think that I do think you can build around Romero, Van de Ven, and Kulusevski.
Oh, you can.
And Vicario. I think Vicario is a world-class keeper. But when you have Danso and Davies playing in front of him, it's a vast discrepancy between Romero and Van de Ven. So, like, on one hand, this is ugly, but you can also see it in the level of quality of our squad players, right? So, I totally understand mentality because it's weak, but you have to rid yourself of the weakness.
Yeah,
you have to bring in players that are strong leaders.
And I said it again, the transfer window, I said it quite consistently. Our transfer window is now to come to bite. It's back on the arse. Here's Odegaard. This is shown.
100%. And if we have another window where we're bringing in Joe Bellingham and some more youngsters, your more youngsters, we're probably going to see a replication of this season.
Yeah, Ange is not a manager for a reboot. Ange is a win now manager.
He's never actually taken on a youth project in his career.
So, Dan, that's when you start looking at. Look, I agree with what you said last night about Pochettino, by the way, because I was watching you guys. I know I wasn't always in the chat, but I was in the watching you guys. I was working, putting today's show together and shows during the week together. And I agree with you. I think Poch would lose an awful lot of respect if he was to leave USA now and go to Tottenham. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I said in the chat, and I don't agree with James on this. Sorry, James. In the background, he's going to stick fingers up at me and everything now. He's going to start doing signs at me. He's already looking at me already, by the way. He's already, I've seen what you're doing, buddy pal. I don't want Punch back. I do not want Pochettino back. I don't. I'm sorry. I do not. Yeah, exactly. I do not. I love this automated offside, by the way. At least it's a bit more clear. But I don't want him back. I do not want him back because he's a serial loser. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't mind having Poch back, but that being said, in time, and I just don't think that they're going to pay the release clause, and I don't think Poch would do that to the U.S. But I will say that if you are building a team around a youth movement, fine. Bring in a manager that has a history of developing players at a high level and that knows how to actually get those kids playing punching above their weight, like a Kieran McKenna or a Graham Potter or a guy like that who has those that has that on their CV, that understand exactly how to utilize youth in the correct way. Like we could have had Graham Potter. Like what's funny is I keep hearing Andoni Iraola or Marco Silva or Thomas Frank, and it's like, I don't know, man. Would it be out of the realm of possibility to try to get a dude like Kieran McKenna through the door?
Do you know what? I was just about. You took the words out of my mouth, Steve. I was going to say McKenna. I think he'd be a great fit for Tottenham. Ex-Tottenham player as well, by the way. I think I've angered Philip. Me and Philip had the discussion a little while ago when I called Poch a loser. And I want to explain why I call him a loser, right? Because maybe it was because of his back in his first tenure at Tottenham, or maybe he didn't have the experience of winning trophies, but he never got us over the line. And I just feel, look, I don't mean disrespect to anyone. It's an opinion, and it's my opinion, and that's, I know. And Philip says Poch could hit the ground running. He knows the club. Yeah, but he's not going to know the club under new owners. It's what this club really needs. We cannot keep going on the way we're going. We're
yeah.
Tottenham.
This is not. I just think. Go ahead, Dermot. Sorry about that, man.
This is not the club that. I mean, I look to older fans at this point. I look to the likes of Wilton McDonald, Philip Brady, who have seen it all before us, who have seen the good times, who've seen us get relegated. So I look to them for guidance, and I look for them for guidance where we go. And I want us to be where Liverpool are now. But I want it done the right way. I want it done the Tottenham way. We have to back the manager that comes in next. If it's Ange Postecoglou, back him to the hilt in the summer. If it's any other manager, back him. If you want to get Poch back, right? And I'm sorry to Steve, I know he's managing of your US team, and I know the World Cup's coming off, but I'm just saying, if you want Poch back, and Levy was outvoted in the summer about bringing Pochettino back, there's a 20 million, I think, release clause in his contract.
There is.
Then pay the 20 million and bring him back. One good thing Ange was good at, by the way, was he built a very young, successful side. And I agree with Philip. We can't have another experiment. McKenna is not the answer. Then Philip, who apart from Poch, who is there out there? Big up to Michael McDonald. He says, I catch you Spurs later. I'm off for my dinner. I have some rabbit from Sainsbury's. Oh, lovely in the fridge. Michael, you're always welcome in the chat, man. You're always welcome to this.
By the way, Boris, U.S. men's national team fans are universally behind Mauricio Pochettino. They were absolutely thrilled that we were able to get a caliber coach like Mauricio Pochettino. Yes, there are outlier fans that don't like him. But that being said, there's very few that actually want Jesse Marsch. And if Poch were to leave the Spurs tomorrow, Jesse Marsch is not leaving Canada. They're not leaving Canada. He's not leaving Canada for the U.S. ahead of the World Cup. Come on, man.
Do you know? Have you seen the outside the ground? It's just
I just saw it.
I'm jealous. I'm being honest with you. I'm totally jealous of what I'm seeing. Like, I hope this hurts this Tottenham team.
Yeah, I do.
I hope this hurts them. I hope they die with embarrassment. And I get Philip says that third season, but I get it. But Philip, come on, you know me as well as anyone. How much I hurt after a defeat. Philip Brady's famous things, Steve, was if we lost, Philip would go, "I'm going in 5 minutes," and go. It's quite funny. What do you think of Scott Parker? Philip's put in there Scott Parker as an option.
Scott Parker is great at the championship level, but I think he's failed twice at the Premier League level. I think he went to Club Brugge and failed, got sacked from Club Brugge. I don't dislike Scott Parker. I just don't know if he's. I don't know if he's shown enough to warrant another Premier League job, specifically Tottenham. Although I do like Scotty Parker, I just don't know if it's at this level. The crazy thing about it is, and I know Boris just said, is in his opinion, if Poch is offered the job, I honestly feel like he will take it. Poch has already came out publicly and said he's not leaving the U.S. before the World Cup. And I actually just think that's correct. I don't think he's going to be available until 2026. But that being said, it's like, if this gets back to Europa League, because it always hinges on Europa League. If Spurs win it, I find it hard pressed that Daniel Levy is going to get rid of a coach that delivered their first European trophy since '84.
Yeah.
I find it hard pressed, which means that the same narratives are going to be around next year as they are right now. And it's going to reach a tipping point. So if there's any stumble at the start of next season, chances are pretty good that, you'd probably see the sack sometime around November, December of this year. But I
have to agree with Boris. Sorry, Steve. Go on, man. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I listen. I would find it so very hard pressed that Poch would leave the U.S. 14 months ahead of a World Cup that's being held on our own soil. That's the reason why he took the U.S. job, because we're hosting the World Cup, and this is something that he wanted to do. Unless they gave him stupid money to return. You know what I mean? Like, it's like some number that he couldn't turn down. Yeah, maybe. But that being said, he burns his bridges. He burns his international bridges.
Well, there is talk, and I saw an article last night, and there is rumors flying around the football industry at the moment that a certain Jose Mourinho could be coming back to manage our club.
I would be opposed to that.
New owners and a Jose Mourinho at the club.
Yeah, and this time around, if let's just say that happens, let's say that Jose Mourinho decides to take Spurs over Fenerbahce. Okay, fine. You actually have to listen to him this time. And you have to back him. If there's a player that he wants, you have to go and get him.
Yeah. Look, we're coming up to 10 minutes to go, Steve. It's still 5-1, by the way. If Van survives next season, what about Poch after the World Cup?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Would you take Ange for another? After this season, I mean, I hate this conversation because I feel it's been disrespectful to the manager. I feel it's been disrespectful to the person himself. I know as football fans, we're all quite vigorous in our opinions, but do you feel when these people talk about Ange's job or the questions asked in the press conferences, do you think it's a bit disrespectful? The man's still in the job. 100%. That nothing has come out and said, oh, we've got Nunes is coming on, by the way, for Liverpool. Do you feel it's a bit disrespectful to Ange Postecoglou because he has been successful? We are in the Europa League semi-final. As much as today's hurting, and it is hurting, but do you feel the first 10 games of his tenure were the best we were ever going to get from Ange?
I think those first 10 games were a result of a manager bounce, the new manager bounce. Yeah. But what I will say is that it is a little disrespectful because he's still in the job. But again, this is just my opinion, Derma, that for me, at least personally, it rides on Europa League. If we go out against Bodo in that first leg and get dummied 4-1, and it renders the second leg useless, at that point, as much as I respect Ange Postecoglou, at that point, I would give him the sack because the second leg doesn't mean anything. And at that point, you're pretty much out of the competition. And at that point, yeah, you can clean the slate. But if Spurs win it and they win it big, and the reverse, and they win it big, where the second leg is irrelevant because they got a 3-4 goal lead in that return leg, and they're gonna be a shoo-in for the final. At that point, you kind of have to keep them and let them play out that final.
I think so, and also I think, look, if we weren't in the league, in the Europa League, right? And I think Philip's point is spot on here. He said he thinks Ange's position is untenable. I think it is. If we weren't in the Europa League, I think he would be gone. But why do you think, right? Do you think he wasn't sacked because of the injuries early in the season and the promise, 100%. The promise that the team will get better with the players back? Well, the players have come back, and we have not improved in the league. Our league position has not improved.
Well,
but we have in Europe, though. We have in Europe.
Let's understand that the league became a wash in October, November. We kind of knew that we weren't going to play our way back in the league, and then the injury crisis happened, and at that point we were well out of the top 4 Europe spots. So at that point, when the players came back and we were already in the latter half of the table, and the only thing left to compete on was the Europa League, I personally think these players recognized it and just said, okay, cool, let's just focus on Europa League. Yeah. Because at the very least, that's our last avenue to win a trophy, and we've seen that play out. Now, from an Ange Postecoglou point of view, he keeps putting out strong lineups because it matters to Ange because he's still fighting for his job. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to do whatever he's got to do to put his best foot forward. And it's just, like, how do you convey a message knowing that A, there's players that you don't trust, and B, that the players have essentially just said that this is going to be this competition is our last ability to win a trophy. So however the league plays out, the league plays out. Like, it must be hard for Ange Postecoglou knowing that there's a group of players that have given up on the league. And you know, like, if I was in his shoes, like it would cause me so much stress and headache.
It's like the players are throwing them under the bus, to be frankly, and some players are throwing them under the bus.
Yeah, in some respect, I would probably have to agree with that statement. Which is, again, it gets back to the whole summer transfer window, where before you can think about bringing players in, you have to get rid of players that you can't trust, players that players that actually have influence and sway over certain other players, where it's like they came to this conclusion, like that the Europa League is the only thing that mattered, and your position in the league doesn't. Like, those players have to go because it's weak mentality.
Yeah, I did a show with James during it over the transfer, over transfers and over the money he spent. We went through other managers. I think his Premier League record is sort of 32 wins and 31 defeats in 88 sort of games in charge, Premier League games in charge. No, I think it was something along them lines.
Boris brings up a good point right there.
I don't see Ange staying after summer due to how vicious our new CEO coming in the summer. He isn't going to scorch the earth tactics from what I've seen with him previously.
Could be.
Ange is not going to be there, nor will Levy. We're under new ownership. As I keep saying, we are gonna takeover will happen. As somebody said to me the other day, and I was talking to him, he's an Arsenal fan. I like him a lot. He's a good mate of mine. We have banter, but he's very good on his football knowledge, and we have good football talk as well. And he said to me, getting to the Champions League final was the worst thing that could ever happen to Tottenham, because it raised the expectations of us being the bigger club than what we were. And I didn't agree with him at the time, but if you look at it now, we were ahead of Arsenal at that point. Arsenal now well ahead of us in North London. We are so far not being in a top 6 team. We're a mid-table team at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So does the blame then go on the owners then for saying, right, we got to the Champions League final, we have to kick on? That first transfer window after the Champions League final, we didn't buy one single player. And we did that for 3 transfer windows. So
you know what's funny, because Poch alluded to it, didn't he? He needs new furniture. He needed new furniture in the house, or whatever the statement was.
So,
but see, it was a pivotal moment, and I agree with your Arsenal friend, because he's absolutely right. It wasn't the worst thing, but it was the best thing, because for us fans, we saw exactly just how weak Daniel Levy is. Because when you get to the top of the mountain, there's only one thing you can do, is finish climbing to the summit, which means that when you get there and you lose a heartbreaker to Liverpool, you take what you've did and you build on that, and you get to the top of the mountain. Daniel Levy is a coward. He looked at that and said, whoa, this is going to cost entirely way too much. We can't do this.
Yeah,
we can't do this. And Levy, Levy knew it too. That's the thing, right? Levy knew exactly where we were. And instead of actually kicking on and turning this thing turning Spurs into a legit top six club, what did he do? He cowered away. He cowered away.
I also think Joe Lewis has to take, who was owner at the time, has to take responsibility, because he's the billionaire. Daniel Levy's not a billionaire. Joe Lewis is the billionaire. So Joe Lewis at that time could have pumped money in to the club to help build the squad.
How much? By the way, how much did Spurs get for that Champions League final appearance? That entire run from from group stage all the way to the final, how much did that competition net Spurs?
Oh, his
Because
Liverpool, his Nunes is on the run. Is it going to be 6? Is it going to be 6? No, it could still be 6. It could be still 6. His Liverpool, are they going to score 6? No, they don't. Good defending. That was by Destiny, by Papa Sar. His Liverpool, oh, that was nearly 6-1.
Because we can talk about Joe Louis pumping in, but if they netted over 200 million euro for that run, they had more than enough money to go out there and bring in that final piece to augment Son and Kane at that point.
I would love. I think it's 100 and something million. Maybe Boris might let me know in the chat
for that entire Champions League run.
Yeah, I think 100 million in my head runs into my brain, but I'm not 100% sure. Look. I've always said Tottenham. Look, Tottenham Hotspur is one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah,
we're 4th or 5th or 6th or 7th big club in the world when it comes to revenue. We are who we are. But at the moment, we're not. Wayne said it in the chat. Neil says we are a big club because it's always an objective used for Spurs. Champagne Boris, I think it was Wayne said it in the chat. He says, Wayne says, we're not a big club. Levy likes to act as though we are, but fails to bring it up. It's all about image with him. It is. And we've got 4 minutes of time added on, guys. Look, I hate to ask you this, Steve, but who's your man of the match for Tottenham? And what's your... Yeah, who's your man of the match for Spurs?
I'll say this: my man of the match is going to be Dominic Solanke. He was the goal scorer, and I thought really he showed I thought he showed very good movement and aggression. I actually that's the thing is after the first goal, good Lord, man, we just fell apart. From that point on, it's really kind of hard to pinpoint who stood out. But I think for me, at least, it's going to be right now, just in the moment with all the emotion, it's probably Dominic Solanke.
Yeah. I'll have to agree with you.
We've only possessed the ball for 36% of. We've only had 30. I think it's 36% possession. Oh
yeah. I'm embarrassed. I am so embarrassed. Like his Nunes. I mean, this could be 6-1. Good defending by Danso. I'm going to be sick to death of hearing apologies again from players and we're sorry we let you down. I don't give a shit. And then Thursday we'll be all up for it again, and it is all over, guys. Liverpool are the Premier League champions of the 24. No, it isn't over. They just shook hands early, which I thought was very magnanimous of Arne Slot, to be fair. Liverpool fans baying for 6. Are they going to get 6? No, they're not. Good defending by his Kulu. I don't know what to say. All I'm saying is
Thursday. We knew this was all about Thursday to begin with.
Can I just say congratulations to Liverpool on winning the Premier League title 24-25 season. They've been an absolute class of the season, and I'd like to offer my congratulations to Liverpool, to their fans, to everyone connected with Liverpool. If you're watching this on X or you're watching us on YouTube, Richie's just got a booking. Richie's just been a dick. Congratulations to Liverpool, best team of the season. 108.4 million for that road to the Champions League final we got.
And instead of pocketing that money, actually.
And by the way, I was quite happy not. It's just been an embarrassment today. I think Steve's froze again. I think Steve's internet has froze like Tottenham's defense today. Oh, he's going to try. Oh, there's Vicario, and it saves the ball. And it's all over, guys. Liverpool. No, they're not yet. Not yet. Not yet. We're waiting for it. And it is it. Liverpool have beaten Tottenham by 5-1, and Liverpool are the Premier League champions of the 24-25 season. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to everyone connected with Tottenham Hotspur, with Liverpool Football Club. Absolute brilliant, well-deserved, best team of the season. And I don't know what to say about us. I think Steve's internet's gone. Yeah, I'm absolutely embarrassed by that performance. I don't know what to say, guys. Probably put yourself in the chat. What do you want to say? And let me stop the scoreboard. That was just embarrassing. That was absolutely just embarrassing. But was it surprising? No. Because of Thursday. I don't know where to start or where to start on this one, Steve.
Yeah.
Look, I just said congratulations, Liverpool again. Best team deserved the championship, best team in the league all year. But I am wholly embarrassed of this Tottenham team, Tottenham club, Tottenham players, and I feel for the likes of Archie Gray, Bergville, Danso. I feel for the younger players, but my God, our older players, our senior players need to hang their heads in shame, because that was an absolute embarrassment.
It was 3 embarrassing performances and 4.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was 3 embarrassing performances in the league. Wolves, Forest, and now Liverpool. And again, I'll just say that what pisses me off the most is that as a professional footballer, you're disrespecting the game of football. Like you're this is your job, this is your profession, to go out there and play your best brand of football within the confines of what the manager is asking you to do. And this is the performance that you display. Like, they should be absolutely embarrassed and ashamed of themselves.
Yeah. And none of them players have gone over to the away fans, by the way.
Yeah, why would they?
None of them players.
It was a shambolic performance. Why would they? They're cowards.
Well, I think if they had any guts in them to go over there and applaud them fans that have paid good hard-earned money, that have travelled all the way up to Liverpool and sat through 90 minutes of absolute trash. We all know that the knives are going to be out for Ange. We all know that, Steve, and I'm sick of hearing it. You're sick of hearing it. We all know he's going to be here to the end of the season.
Yeah.
And we will talk more about it in final score, but just very briefly, how does he lift the players from this? Because it is going to affect confidence, by the way. How do you lift the team up for an important, our biggest European Europa League point of view since 1984?
The way that I would like to see it is that your messaging has to be, well, we have Europa League on Thursday, right? That's the messaging, right? So if this is the eggs that you put in all your basket for, then that level has to be on par and consistent with the 2 legs against Frankfurt, against the second leg versus AZ Alkmaar, right? So that has to be your messaging. If that is something that you absolutely care for, and if that's something that you desire, anything less than what we saw against Frankfurt, it will not be acceptable. But that being said, it's like, how do you, like, let me ask you a question, Dermot. As a manager, if you put on your manager boots for a second, how do you look your players in the eyes after a shambolic performance like this? How do you do it? Knowing that Europa League is on, it's like, how do you do that?
You can't. Because the players have no trust in you. The players have no faith in you. You have no faith in the players, and the players have no faith in you. So you can. That team is completely broken. And you're looking at these celebrations. I'm looking at them on me on a monitor. I'm sure you're looking at the same picture, Steve.
No, I turned it off because I can't see it anymore.
And I'm looking at it, right. I'm hoping that could be us in the Europa League final. That's us winning the trophy. But I mean, would winning the Europa League trophy, would that erase all the pain and all the anger and all the disappointments that I have done every watch along all season, every game I've been here, from hell sunrise to hell water. I've been doing every watch along on this channel to watch this shower. And I'll be honest with you. I'm tired. I am broken.
Yep.
I can't wait for the season to end. And I've had enough. And look, if the players had any bit of how we feel as fans, I think they would care, but they don't give a shit. None of them care. And I would say this: we are Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. You, me, the people watching, the fans are the football club. We lend them that shirt. They have that shirt on loan. They don't own that shirt. We do. We own the cockerel. It's our club. Daniel Levy is just a custodian that holds the keys to our club, and then somebody else takes it on. But we are Tottenham Hotspur. We are. This is what this club is about. It's because of us. And all we expect is them players win, lose, or draw, give 110%. I can accept defeats. I can accept losing. It comes with football. You're not going to win every game. You're not gonna win every game. But win it with a little bit of bottle and a little bit of balls. This for me, and
yeah,
I'm very much on that Bill Nick sort of wavelength, Bill Nick sort of way of thinking that we are Tottenham Hotspur. I've always had that and always will do. But I'll be honest with you now, Steve. I'm broken as a fan. They've broken me completely, and I can't take any more of this.
I just think for me, my breaking point was against Wolves because it let me know just exactly the heart of some of these players that they're not in it for the club, they're in it for themselves, and they're gonna dictate when they show up, when they don't show up. And we saw that against Forest, and we saw it again today against Liverpool, and it pisses me off. But I will say this, that at least for one day, if we hoist the Europa League trophy, for one day we'll smile and we'll be happy. And for one day we can celebrate together as a fan base, as a club. We can celebrate a trophy, and we can come back to N17 with our heads held high because we got through a competition and we came out at the other end champions. That's great. The biggest problem is as soon as the dust settles on the trophy, there's still going to be narratives and there's still going to be pitchforks, whether it's for Ange Postecoglou, whether it's for Daniel Levy, whether it's for Johan Lang or Scott Munn, whoever the case may be, there is going to be pitchforks, and there is still going to be a crack right down the middle of this fan base.
Yeah.
And that's going to always be present, regardless of whether Ange Postecoglou is our manager next year or not. There are still going to be pitchforks out there, and this will not end until we decide as a club that we're going to have the right person running the show as far as the director goes, and we have a coach that not only are we going to back, but we're going to give him time to actually get back the identity of this club. But at least for one day, if we win a trophy, at least for one day.
Look, I'm now next season will be my 44th year. Now, hang on. 44, 77. Well, 79. So 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. So, 40. What we're now 25, 40. Next year will be my 45th year supporting this club. From man to boy, from boy to man, 45 years. You've been supporting Tottenham, God knows, probably the same length as me, Steve. You're probably looking at over 30 years.
Since the 2001, when I actually, when my brother, I used to go out with my brother on the weekends, and in the mornings he would wake me up Sunday mornings, and he'd be watching Arsenal, and I absolutely hated Arsenal. And so I remember going online and going to one of those early search engines, typing in who is Arsenal's biggest rival. It was the Tottenham Hotspur. So I started watching videos of Tottenham Hotspur, and then I started watching Spurs games, and that's when I became a Spurs supporter. So it's been 25 years now.
Yeah, and I've seen success where you haven't, and that hurts me. That hurts me big time, that you haven't seen what I've seen, and that hurts me.
The only trophy I've seen was the Leagues Cup in 2008. That's it.
And I mean that, and I'm not being patronizing saying that, Steve. It genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. It does hurt me, because I want you to feel what I felt. I want you to feel what I've seen. I've seen this lift a European trophy. I mean, I was 7 when we won the UEFA Cup, and that was the best day of my life. Like, I've seen this with. Look, David, I will use anything I want to on this channel. You don't have to tell me. If I want to use something, I will do. It's our channel, but I run the. You know what I mean. I'm a Spurs fan for a fully. I'm allowed to say what I want to say. And and for you to say, please don't use Nicholson as a guide to this club for the last 12 years. I wasn't. Bill was allowed to go out and buy it. I never guided. I never said Bill Nicholson. I was saying Bill Nick said this is our club. If you listen to what I said, I wasn't using Nicholson as a guide. So please listen to what I say when I'm saying stuff. Don't just cherry pick and just come in with a comment like that, because that's not fair. And that's you're just putting words into my mouth, which I didn't say. And I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man. You're frustrated, and I totally understand. Neil Shafton, who is in LA, and I'm sorry that you're in LA. LA is a shithole. But I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, and now I'm currently in the fighting state of Michigan. So I am a Great Lakes, a resident of the Great Lakes region. So there we are.
There we go. Liverpool are top champions with 82 points with 4 games left to spare. Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, all in a fight from Newcastle to Forest for Champions League. Aston Villa are in that fight as well, by the way, in 57 points. They're not showing the bottom of the league. Steve, we're going to finish this off. We're going to go into final score. I think James is going to join us, but I think his internet's gone down. On another night where Tottenham have been embarrassed again in the Premier League. We will see you in about 20 minutes. We won't be going on for final score, probably half an hour at the most, because it's been a long day for me and I'm tired and I'm hungry. But listen, Steve, thank you so much for joining me again on the watch along, and we'll get the pleasure of your greatness on final score. So do join us for that. So come on now. Let's all well, I can't even say come on you. I will say come on you Spurs. Come on you Spurs in the great cockerel we trust.
Come on you Spurs.
That's all I can say. I don't know who's more upset, me or Steve.
It's not anger. It's disappointment.
It's frustration.
It's just disappointment because I just in all the years that I've been associated with this game and doing player development in the States and knowing what terrible looks like, and just understanding that, even on bad teams, players are still playing hard, and they're just they just don't have the talent to compete, but at least they're still trying. And then you see this team and you're like, that's the disappointing part, because they just have given up. They've lost, and you can just see it. You can just see it. Yeah, it's disappointing to see.
It is so disappointing, man. You are right. You're spot on with that. But listen, guys, we're back on at 7 for final score. Do join us for then. But come on, you Spurs. As I said, in the big cockerel we trust.
Eyes on the